Thanks. We're still talking about helps, especially because of the news we saw a while back, talking about a young underage help who allegedly molested a 1-year-old. Now, as much as we all want to crucify her, there's also that part of the fact that she's underage. It was wrong. I think it's illegal to even parade a minor the way she was paraded, because I know we do these things, you know, because we feel it's the right thing to do. You know, we are judge and jury and everything. Yes, she did this to my child. I'm going to put her camera, I'll put up a camera, record her, and post her out there. Yes, we know that's the emotional thing to do. However, as Nigerians who are moving forward, we need to begin to consider what is right and what is wrong. I mean, what are your thoughts? Do you think this is an angle that should be considered where a 1-year-old child has been molested? I mean, these are issues. What do you think?
Okay, so I remember Miriam was saying that, you know, once you have such situation, we should have a kind of archive where you have such data or people registered on that data, and you can always go back, you know, do your background check. I've never actually supported even, you know, grown-up criminals being paraded and their faces are being shown, to now talk of an underage or a minor as an offender. But I think it has to do with orientation, a reorientation, not just orientation. We have to have a reorientation for ourselves as a people, for the police, for the justice system, to say that, you know, even as journalists, you get to see that the blogs that's posted, they didn't blur the girl's face. Okay, because at the end of the day, let's imagine that she serves a term, you know, she was taken to court or something, and she serves a term and all that, and she comes out. It will, her face is there, you know.
People will say that this is what we want to do to criminals. We want to name, we want to shame them. And we hope that in the naming and shaming, we are teaching someone else not to do it. Because if we protect them and we blur their faces, then if I'm a prospective or, you know, I'm thinking about it, then I realize that, okay, I may not be named and shamed anyway, so I can go ahead and do it. So I understand.
The people that we've been shaming, are they still not glorified criminals at the end of the day?
You're right. So I understand the place of law. And, you know, here we're always, you know, pushing for always doing the thing,
the right
doing
things or
right.
Something that is balanced.
We don't want jungle justice. We don't want it to look like we're abusing someone's human rights. But I'm also saying that I understand where, as an emotional person that's been involved in something like that, where what you want to do is put that person's picture up, so that you and I are going through our social media, we put that picture in our heads and never, you know, so that we don't make the mistake.
Okay, I'll come to you,
someone that looks like her or would never come close to us.
I'll come to you, Mary, because I would like to point you on that a bit. But let me just take Bolaji. Good morning, Bolaji from Omole. You there?
Good morning.
You're live. Thank you for calling.
Thank you. I'm a first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. This discussion this morning is something that I think every woman, let me put it, every woman or every person in the house, you understand, and every house owner supposed to have a camera in their house. Not only because of invaders, but because of issues like this. Most especially when you have somebody you are leaving behind. You need to know what is going on at your back. Our house is where we put virtually like over 90% of all our life and belongings. You understand? Not to even have talk of life that is so precious and cannot, once anything happens, it happens for life. If a child is being raped, that thing, that stigma forever is already there, can be corrected. If a life is being lost, it can be retrieved. So we need to know what is happening. We need to have a camera in our house. That is from individual now, for an individual person. But from the government, we also, our place of, the social service department, in each state, they need to really work on them.
All right.
Like this issue we are talking about now.
Yes. Thank you so much, Balaji, for your comments. So I said, it's an emotional conversation. There is no mother or father that would find out your 1-year-old was molested. You won't even be rational.
No.
But that's why the law is there, to keep us rational and do the right thing. Because many of us to celebrate, oh, the West, they do this. Things happen, the young boy enters the class, shoots down people, and they know the face. But you cannot, because, oh, you shot my child, and I'm going to put your face out there because you're a criminal, you know, they must be, you know, there's got to be ways of doing things. So as much as I see the need, and I'm happy to see the girl's face so that I won't hire her, but the truth is, do we want a proper system in place as a country, or do we want to just have a banana republic?
I will clarify. I am not advocating for minors who have committed crimes to have their faces themselves paraded on media.
Right.
I think that we should give minors a chance to reform, but definitely they must be registered. And so what that would mean is, if I know that we have a system where offenders are registered, if I'm going to if I'm interviewing a few people, I'm looking to have people come and work as domestic helps in my home, I want to be able to check their names against the register. Because I don't know what the person did 10, 20 years ago, or I don't know what the person did just 5 years ago. I remember when we had those prison breaks, we were told to be careful that these people will come and they may want to come into our homes and, you know, for all sorts of menial jobs or domestic jobs. And if we had a whole list of these people who had run out and we had their pictures, we would have just done our part. We'll go to that register. You come, oh, I've never seen you in this area. This person has just, I've just come into town, because that's what you hear. I don't live in this state. I've just come into town. These are my information. Okay, I've seen your information. I do the preliminary interview. Then I go and check your name against the register and see that it's not that you're a gun runner, you're not a convict that is on the run, you're not a rapist. I need to be able to also protect myself. As much as I'd like to protect a minor who's committed a crime and give them the opportunity to reform themselves, I also want to protect my space, my treasures, and my own children.
All right,
and so I'm asking the government to give me that option.
I'll come to you in a second. Olaleko, are you there? Thanks for calling. Yes, Olaleko, you're live. Go ahead, please. Olaleko, are you there? Okay, I think yes, go ahead. You're live.
Okay. First, the girl in question, I think she's just 17, almost about to be 18. I think this is not a case for the police to handle, because girls within this age range, I think from 15 to 18, do go through this sexual or what do they call it? So it's not a case for the police.
It's not a case for the police?
Okay, I didn't hear you it wasn't very clear. Maybe we can get some volume. But I think he was saying something about it. That is not the case for police, and so I'm not sure. But why he would say it's not the case for police. But now, so as we wrap up on this, because I know I was trying to bring in a resource person who I know recently wrote a book concerning Can You Handle Help by Sheyi Banigbe. And I interestingly interviewed her yesterday, coincidentally. So if we can get her on, she can give us some tips on how to ensure that we get the right people. But again, let's go into the heart of the mother of that child. What does she do? I mean, you found out that somebody is in your house. Let's forget minor, adult, whatever it is. Your 1-year-old child who in diapers was molested. How do you where do you start? How do you help this child? How do you wash this dirt off your child? What do you do? What kind of help? Who can help your mental stability in this situation? Let me come to you. What are your thoughts? If you put yourself in that mother's shoes, what would you advise her if you were somebody that you know?
You know, first of all, I think this issue is it's not something that started now. It's just that people are beginning to talk. All right. Child molestation within the family or home setting is something that is prevalent. But people, you know, the shame. Come on now. If something happened to your girl child, would you be brave enough to say, oh, yesterday my baby girl was, you know? So a lot of times people just want to cover things up and then just, sweep things under the carpet, do the necessary things, and just like, okay, well, the child is not dead, let's just move on. But you see, as...
Leave it in God's hands.
Or leave it in God's hands, or emak bariwo, And, but then the thing is, I think for every mother, most especially, the guilt. I remember my sister, sorry sis, I'm talking about you. She left her job some years ago as an architect to do what? To come and sit at home because she felt, I have grown, my children are growing. I need to watch over them. I need to nurture them. Till date, she's still feeling guilty.
That she left?
No, that she's not doing so much. She's not doing, like there is this self-judgment for every mother at every point in time that you're ever constantly judging yourself. Am I parenting the right way? Have I done my best? So now this is happening to you under your roof. So what people are also going to say is, why leave your child with help? When you're there, what is your job? Especially if you're not working, if you're supposed to be a housewife or something like that. So that guilt is something she needs to overcome.
Well, just imagine if she's somebody you know.
Yes.
What would you tell her?
I'm going to pray with her. And I'm going to say she should learn to forgive herself because she did not mean to put her child in harm's way. The devil came, tried you, but the devil did not win, is what I would say to her, really. I would go to spiritual.
Not only spiritual, you can do
I'm telling you to comfort her because I know
it's comforting.
Just a few weeks ago, I almost cried on set here because a week before, I'd been called from my daughter's school to come because she had fallen ill. She was throwing up. I went to hospital runs. 2 weeks after, I was called from my son's school.
Oh,
like,
dear.
I'm such a bad mother. Oh, my children are sick. That's just because they were sick. So imagine this. I know what it means to have that sort of... I know what it means to have that guilt as a mother. And then to think that you've put your child in harm's way.
Yeah.
Like, you will question, there's no one as critical, as self-critical as a mother. You're constantly asking, you mean you're so stupid, so foolish, you did not ask the right questions? Why didn't you even see it in her? Didn't you see the red flags? And if you don't ask yourself questions, Nigerians will ask you. What kind of mother are you? How could you not tell? Me, if it's me, there's a way I even see that girl. I can tell you that this is... And then you're constantly feeling like...
We have to wrap up, but I think if she was a lady that I knew, the first thing I'll tell you is, it's not your fault. First of all, it's not your fault. These things happen. Things happen, things you can't handle, things you cannot even predict would happen. It could have been anybody. She could have been a saint, Bible reading somebody, and the way that she's always speaking in tongues and still do the same thing. You can't really, there's some things you can't control. So first of all, you have to stop that guilt. Don't guilt trip on this. It's not your fault. What you need to do is ensure, put proper measures in place to protect your children going forward. And you did a good job by having a CCTV in the first place.
Right.
I don't have the CCTV. When I read it, I'm like, hey, Murayo, I've been using mouth to get CCTV.
I have.
My first child is 11 years old. My one is what?
How many
I
people
still
can
haven't
actually afford that?
Yeah, but by God's grace, me, I can afford it. With mouth, I have been using. I've called Nima send me CCTV person. You send me CCTV. I have just not done it. So that's a good thing. At least you had that. And thank God you're able to protect your child enough. But don't blame yourself. These things happen. All right, that's all we can take on this topic. It's Friday. Okay, I'm told that we have the Sheyi Banigbe here. Good morning, are you there? Okay, we're going to go on a break. When we come back, we'll take her comments and we'll wrap up on this. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.